Have you ever thought about finding things that weren't meant to be found? Finding things that maybe you shouldn't have seen. Things you shouldn't have seen that you shouldn't see, which you will actually see. Here are some video game discoveries that were found that were not meant to be found by Oddheader.
Horizon Forbidden West. Thanks to Divergent on YouTube for submitting this discovery on oddheader.com. Horizon Forbidden West released early in 2022 as a sequel to one of my favorite games, Horizon Zero Dawn. The sequel...
Favorite games? Wow, is it really that good? I kind of dropped off these open world games for a while. It was an Ubisoft game, wasn't it? Or an EA game? I dropped off these open world games because they all felt the same. I swear, I think I burnt out after Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which was the pinnacle of Ubisoft version of Assassin's Creed game where you run around in an open world and nothing of value ever happens and it is boring. There is so much bloat in that game and I was like, I can't do it. I can't handle another open world. Please don't subject me to another open world. I don't want to run from place to place and unlock shrines that reveal parts of the map and then I can just run to another part and sometimes you get vehicles and sometimes you get horses. Oh, I mean, I love Tears of the Kingdom though, so maybe I don't dislike open worlds. Maybe I just dislike boring games. But I never played this one.
It introduces a number of mechanics to the robot dinosaur hunting adventure, and like its predecessor, already features a number of discoveries never meant to be found. Divergent has managed to find yet another, although this one may just be the most mysterious of them all, as Divergent was playing a disc copy of the game on version 1.0, so they could use a glitch with a shield wing that allowed them to fly around instead of only gliding downward like it normally does. A glitch that was removed from the game with patch 1.09. Divergent was flying up over
You can just fly?
See over the edge of the world, when suddenly they noticed a word painted in the sky. Allah. Even stranger, the message is only visible at night and at a specific altitude, making it...
Oh! Was it a wedding proposal? Oh, could you imagine? You put a thing in the game that only the devs can access, and then when your significant other stops playing the game, you do the glitch, and then it's a wedding proposal? Could you imagine?
Even more unclear what its purpose is supposed to be. While it seems like Arla could be the name of a person, location, or even possibly a prescription drug, it doesn't...
Will you marry a prescription drug?
Sort of meaning either in the game or in the real world when searched online.
Hold on, maybe it's an acronym. Maybe it is a sentence spelled out with the beginning letters. Let's see. ARIA. Really? Armored insurgents amassing. Oh my god, there's armored insurgents amassing. It's a warning. It's a warning to the government of a small country, I imagine.
Considering the conditions of this thing and that you have to see it at just the right angle, Divergent is one hell of a lucky dude for uncovering this one at all. Now if we just be lucky enough to uncover what the hell it means. Rage.
Some game dev knows.
In this discovery through the...
Dude, this is the game that is essentially the bootleg version of Borderlands and Fallout mixed into one thing. I really wanted this to be good when it came out, and it was so mid.
Discord. Rage is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter released in 2011 from developer id Software. The game was praised at release for having incredible visuals for 2011. However, it could have been less fondly remembered if the file Pepper found in the data actually made it into the game, as Pepper found under Do Not Distribute AI Stuck is none other than the Hamster Dance song, which for those lucky enough not to know was one of the very first internet memes. And as you can probably tell, one of the most annoying songs of all time. Well,
that's crazy that video happened today, because the first video I saw when I opened TikTok on the way back from the gym today was a cat that was sitting outside, and the woman recording the video started doing the hamster dance. She started doing the and the cat ran in because that is the signal that it is dinner time. It is impossible. I have not heard that song in years, and I hear it twice in the same day. What kind of conspiracy is this? Is it Big Hamster trying to get this into my mind? Is it the CIA?
It's disabled in the final game. From the name AI Stuck, we can tell it was most likely used during development to indicate to developers when the enemy AI got stuck in the environment, and there was no way bugs were going unnoticed if they had to put up with this shit. Guess now we know why the developers called this game Rage. Shrek Super
Okay, that's
Slam.
pretty funny though, right?
For submitting this discovery on the Oddheader Discord. Shrek Super Slam is a 2005 title for 6th generation consoles that straight up Smash Brothers with Shrek. A game that, considering Shrek's prestige in meme culture, would probably...
Oh wait, I love this game.
Today. In 2005 though, players saw the game for pretty much what it is, which was a rather unmemorable and awkward Smash clone without Mike Myers' Eddie...
Oh yeah, this game was absolutely terrible, but the child version of me loved it. It was great. This is the best Smash-like game It even had 3 dimensions. Smash only has 2. How do you beat that?
Or Cameron Diaz. An interesting discovery, though, was made on the PlayStation 2 version of the game, as a file was found in the data that was actually the entirety of Tony Hawk's Underground 2 remix. Not a particularly shocking find considering Shaba Games was a developer on both titles. But what's interesting about this is this version of Tony Hawk's Underground 2 remix is actually an unreleased version of the game, dated after the game's original release, with a number of fixes and improvements made to the game, such as no longer being cut off on the character select screen. One big improvement is the fact that 2 of the game's hidden characters exclusive to Remix are actually unlockable now, which I remember as a kid spending hours trying to unlock them by fully completing the Atlanta level and being ticked when nothing happened. If only I bought Shrek Super Slam and ripped the newer version of Underground Remix that was hidden on the disc. That could have been 2 games for
How did this happen?
Though honestly, the amount of time I'd spent on one of them was probably slim to none.
Could you imagine how insane it would be, especially back in the days before the internet was really super used for online game on guides and things like that? If you finished Shrek Super Slam and as a reward, you unlocked a bug-fixed version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, could you imagine how crazy that would have been? You can't do that nowadays. There's no way you'd get away with it. Immediately, people would be tweeting about it. Dexerto would be saying, someone found this game, and it would be immediately ruined. Spoilers all over the internet. But back in the day, this could have worked, and it would have been the greatest. People would remember it for as long as they lived.
The Witcher 3. Wild Hunt. The Witcher 3 has been covered quite a few times on the channel for various discoveries that have been all sorts of creepy and awkward. However, the game's next-gen update at the end of 2022 included what was most likely the most shocking discovery to date.
Wait, the next-gen update in 2022. Okay. There is an option to make your character look like Henry Cavill. God, I wish. I love the Geralt in the original game, but could you imagine if there was like alternate skin that's just Henry Cavill?
Players were stunned to realize, along with countless new features such as ray tracing and improved 60 frames per second gameplay. The update was also sure to add fully detailed lady gardens underneath the female characters' clothes, some of which were even intricately landscaped with a landing strip, which obviously I can't show here, but I think you get the idea. Which was
a landing strip?
Odd.
Okay, I don't believe that in the Middle Ages, they were performing grooming like that. I really don't. I don't believe it at all. No one was shaving down there in the Middle Ages. It was all bushes and that's all. I mean, this is a magical land, I suppose. It's not really the Middle Ages. It's more like a magical version of the Middle Ages where you can have unicorns and dragons and monsters and things like that. But I still don't believe anyone was shaving down there.
Considering before the update, the female characters down there resembled Barbie, without any discernible features in the area. Developer CD Projekt Red immediately patched out the offending bits after it caused a stir in the community, explaining that they were unintended, as the next-gen update had utilized some fan-made mods, and explained it was specifically because of the HD Monsters rework mod that they used, as the mod included a different kind of reworking that the developers were definitely not expecting, though on
Oh my god, what? That was in the update because they used a mod, and the mod just had, it was just a genital update, and they didn't know? Did they not check the mod beforehand? That's crazy! They just included, they were like, this is the big update for our game. We're gonna use a ton of mods that the users have generated. Wow, this is all the stuff that the users have made for us. And they just didn't know there was the big genital update.
Honestly, when CD Projekt Red decided to source material from a fairly detail-oriented modder, you would have thought this would be the first thing they check. Grand Theft Auto.
Dude, if I made that mod, I would not tell them. Under no circumstances would I make that known. It was like, oh yeah, guys, I forgot that was in there. Sorry, the big schlong addition to the mod. Yeah, no idea. Totally forgot. Sorry, my bad, guys. Sorry.
In the decade that the game has been out, Grand Theft Auto 5 still hasn't stopped surprising players with an endless stream of crazy discoveries since the game came out in 2013. This time, Twitter user Luke.
The thing that blew my mind the most today is when I realized that Grand Theft Auto 5 released on the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 came out so long ago. I can't remember the last time I played an Xbox 360 game. That's how old this thing is.
Personal discovered something for the first time in July of 2022, 9 years after the game's release, that we were most definitely never supposed to see. As in the mission Father-Son, when Michael and Franklin chase after the stolen yacht on the back of a truck, there's some vehicles in the date of the chase scene that don't appear to be anywhere, as their graphics appear to be disabled. Enabling them reveals that the yacht isn't the only thing Michael and Frank are chasing, as they're also tailing 2 floating trucks suspended in mid-air, one on the highway next to them and the other flying through the air. What the Were these guys watching us the entire time? It's unknown why exactly Rockstar decided to use trucks here that can't normally be seen, but they are mounted where the cinematic cameras are supposed to be during the scene, meaning
that is so funny. I love that. That was the camera. They put you in the camera angle of the truck, but the graphics for that was disabled. So when the graphics for that are re-enabled, then you can see the truck. Oh my god. That's so fun. You know what? That gives the same kind of vibes as that Fallout train head.
You know, in
This one.
Fallout 3's Broken Steel DLC, you can fix a metro train. Simple enough, right? Well, it turns out that the metro is actually just an NPC.
Look, the metro is just a train on someone's head.
The train on its head.
That's
I am not
crazy.
sure-
Oh wait, actually no, it's not. The NPC replaces where the camera is to your right hand and your body is what's controlling the movement of the train. Still, it's very creative what some game developers can do to make some certain things work that it might not work otherwise within the limitations of their own engine. Game developers are very smart people, and I have a lot of respect for them.
Probably indicators for where the cameras are supposed to be. No idea why they used flying 18-wheelers, but I guess if you were looking to track their position, you're certainly not going to miss that. It really makes me wonder what kind of other things we just haven't discovered. Though of all the
That's
other
awesome.
things floating in front of our faces that we haven't yet revealed, this one could actually be pretty tame. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Party Edition. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Party Edition released only in Europe in 2006 for the PlayStation 2, PSP, and Windows. It's your pretty standard game show tie-in, where players emulate the show by answering trivia questions for a chance to win a fake £1 million. Unless trivia is your thing,
Wait, fake? Wait, do you not actually get the million if you beat the game?
it's not particularly exciting. So I'm not really sure how it got dubbed the Party Edition. Unless you were to take a look at the files, which contain unused outtakes from Chris Tarrant, the host of the UK version of the show who also provided his voice for the game, as Tarrant apparently has some unkind things to say to players who wanted to dip out early.
Well, it seems a shame that you're leaving this early, but if you don't know the answer, it's your choice. F*** me, you are thick. Come back soon to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you
What?
big bastard.
Excuse me?
What? Hold on, Chris, that's a bit nasty. What's going on, man?
Not the kind of words you expect to hear from a cheeky old chap like Tarrant. Though considering some of these questions...
Oh, man, I want to say that he was just having some fun in the recording booth, and then they just kept it. That's funny, though. I love that.
You've had a point. Drakengard. Drakengard
What is
a
that?
series by eccentric game designer Yoko Taro, which
Okay.
eventually spun into the Nier series that led to the explosively popular Nier Automata. Long
Oh,
before
okay.
that, though, Drakengard released on PlayStation 2 in Japan in 2003 and internationally in 2004, which was essentially a Dynasty Warriors clone during an ancient religious war between two factions, with the addition of aerial combat with a dragon. Strangely,
Nice.
though, in the files of the game, someone was discovered hiding who may have been the one to end the war once and for all. As it was
Ganon?
discovered under file 12_kime.fpk, could be found a model of Neo
What? Neo?
from the Matrix. It's unclear why exactly Neo shows up in the medieval setting, except to possibly give the characters the choice of leaving their simulated realities and seeing the real world for what it is to finally join the Rage Against Machines.
Oh my god, could you imagine if you play this entire game and it turns out it's just a disguised Matrix game the whole time? More games should do that. There should be some like big blockbuster game that comes out that is a simulation. And it's actually just the Matrix. Then Andrew Tate comes down and he offers to bring out the Matrix and ride around in his Bugatti before he gets sent to prison for doing human trafficking.
So this cat model in the game, which I have no idea what that is. Recoil. Recoil is a vehicular combat tank game released by EA in 1999 for Windows. The game has players drive an experimental tank through a dystopian world dominated by Megacorp, a technology company whose tanks have become human-killing machines, and now it's your job to take them down. Recoil
What?
isn't very well remembered, except by its fans who recall the game for its explosive gameplay. Something, however, was discovered in the files that will be sure to make you remember Recoil after you see it, as for some reason,
Okay.
the date of the game is an image of a woman leaving little to the imagination. There doesn't
What?
appear to be any people running around during the game, so I'm not sure where exactly this would appear. Then again,
Honestly, I want to believe the game developers originally put this in as like a reward for getting perfect on all the levels or beating it on the hardest difficulty. That's the kind of thing they would do back in the day. Back when gaming was in its infancy and you had graphics like this on PlayStation 1 games, they'd be like, congrats, you beat the game. Boobs and ass is your reward.
and I don't see who's driving the tank either. So I guess whoever's at the controls could just be a bare-ass lady who prefers
Yeah, or exactly. Or that's the main character of the game. And she's just absolutely slaughtering folk completely naked in a massive tank, which would be a very good moment for women's empowerment.
battle in true commando style. Or someone on the development team just got really carried away. Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Someone might have just been really horny on that day.
Grand Ages. Medieval. Thanks to Lexi for submitting this discovery on the Oddheader Discord.
Looks
Grand
like Civ.
Ages Medieval is a 2015 real-time medieval strategy game where players begin as a simple merchant with the ultimate goal of taking over all of Europe. A real starting from the...
Wow, that is That's some real humble beginnings to massive endings. I'm a merchant, but I want to take over the entirety of Europe.
The game pushes players to focus on using economics to gain control of regions rather than using your army, but critics panned it for being overly complicated. However, Alexei found something in Grand Ages that seems to complicate things even further, as inside the game's churches is something that doesn't seem to belong anywhere in the year 1050, as by clicking the pray feature on the church, could wait around for over a minute after the prayer is over and hear audio of a large door open and a mysterious guest's footsteps slowly entering the church. When you suddenly hear, "Hey Giovanni," the guy then proceeds to speak in what sounds like Italian, and what sounds like the cocking of a gun. That does not sound like a weapon from 1050. Giovanni responds in, "What's wrong with him? What is that, an alien?" Eventually we hear what sounds like an explosion and the church bell collapsing. Damn. Rest in peace, Giovanni.
What? Giovanni just got owned. What?
It's-
He's got absolutely slammed. What's that? Is there some kind of time traveler in this that you just don't know about? Was the original story that you take over Europe and then you get slaughtered or assassinated by some time traveler that didn't think that you were supposed to take over Europe? You went back in time? What happened there? Jesus Christ.
Up for submitting this through the Oddheader Discord. Shadow of the Colossus is the highly regarded 2005 PlayStation 2 exclusive that's cited as a huge influence on the industry, having been remastered in 2011 for the PlayStation 3 and remade and re-released again in 2018 for the PlayStation 4, with some still hoping for another release on PlayStation 5. Players, however, found in the PlayStation 4 remake of the game by Bluepoint Games something they maybe were never supposed to find. In the game, you reach different corners of the long, expansive open world so you can find and take down Colossi minding their own business so you can
They
rescue
look
a dead
so
girl you know
sick.
nothing about.
I don't think anyone has done Omega massive creatures better than Shadow of the Colossus. They really look fantastic. The same people that made this should make like an Attack on Titan game or something, because I bet it would slap. It would be really good.
The world is so large and lonely. Players speculated for years that the game held one final secret, believing that a bricked up door would reveal the final Colossus, which didn't actually have anything behind it at all. The 2018 remake, however, made mention in the credits of a YouTuber named Nomad Colossus, who's over the years documented many Shadow of the Colossus areas that were never meant to be found, which ended up being a clue to find coins scattered around the environment, eventually opening a compartment outside the Shrine of Worship, only to find a sword that reflects darkness instead of light, which wasn't really any different from your normal sword and actually upset a bit of the community. Despite this, the community continued to search for more secrets and ended up finding something odd, as players managed to find goat drawings in 4 extremely obscure and hidden locations across the environment. What these goats can mean is still a subject of speculation today.
They don't know?
With some believing it may be part of the game's still unsolved final secret. Some believe the locations of the goats even form the shape of a pentagram, which could only mean we may need to find another goat to perform some sort of sacrifice. Nomad Colossus, however, said they talked to Bluepoint's president Marco Thrush, who said the goats were placeholders to show where the developers were supposed to place certain assets and forgot to remove them, meaning
Nah, there's no way. Something looks like that? No. Maybe it unlocks a massive goat Colossus at the end, or it unlocks a secret final end, because I think that the Shadow of the Colossus ending is really depressing. So we need like a nice ending.
These goat drawings were never actually meant to be found. The thing is, if that was supposed to be the purpose, why would you use goat drawings that blend in so easily with the environment?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it was genuinely drawn there. It even has the, around the side of it, it looks like it's like melding in with the colors around it. It looks like it's actually in the rock. It's too coincidental.
It seems hard to believe these were intended as obvious indicators to developers to put something there.
I'm not to be a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist here, but I'm going to throw it on for a minute. I think that there's something behind this, and it just hasn't been discovered. I think it's waiting for some strong gamer, some Excalibur, to bring the sword from the stone in the Shadow of the Colossus, where the stone is the last Colossus.
As I've shown many times before, if you want to get a developer's attention, it tends to be a little more obvious. Plus, these goats seem to be strangely part of the game world. Some goats were also spotted hiding in Bluepoint's Demon's Souls remake, and Bluepoint even put out a now-deleted tweet before its release that was just an image that said title, with fast loading and a picture of a cabbage in the corner, apparently referencing a Reset-era member who said they'd just take a black screen with a title for the next game, or else they'd eat an entire raw cabbage. Strangely though, it was found if you adjusted the exposure of the image, You'd get this.
What is
the hell's
this?
going on here?
What are they
Maybe the whole
doing?
thing really is just an inside joke that doesn't mean anything at all. Well, in that case, I guess we won't be killing any ghosts.
It blends in so well, though. Maybe I am a conspiracy theorist. I feel like there's something behind this. I've never even played this game, and now I'm invested in some kind of secret behind it. Well, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to Odd Header because they make absolutely fantastic videos based on video game discoveries that I know that you'll want to see. And if you want me to react to a certain video, let me know in my Discord server. The link's in the description. Thanks for hanging out. See you later, guys. Bye.